Hi Jan. Hi Armenak.
Hi everyone.
Hey. Thank you for joining our online meetup. We are your co-hosts today with Gökçen and me. Like I said, also a very warm welcome to Jan Heinrich Meyer from DAO Embassy and Armenak Tüysüz from Salamantex, who are our presenters for tonight, and will introduce us to the exciting world of Dash and crypto payments solutions. Jan Heinrich Meyer, aka Essra, is the founder and managing director of Dash Embassy, DACH region, so for Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, and also the board member of AK Blockchain from Bitkom, and commits daily his time and resources to help the mass adoption of cryptocurrencies as a means of payment in German-speaking countries and other parts of Europe. Mr. Tüysüz from Salamantex is the co-founder of Salamantex, and he is also the key account manager for Salamantex, and is currently also in Malta. And he will make the second presentation about payment solutions with cryptocurrencies. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and making this event possible. A few side notes before we begin. The presentation of Jan will be approximately half an hour long, and then Armenak will be doing a approximately 10-minute presentation. And between the two presentations, we can also answer some of the questions. The whole webinar will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube. And also after the presentation, there will be a Q&A session if you have further questions. And please join the Telegram groups where you can also ask questions, and we will try to answer them. Also feel free to chat and share your ideas and about crypto and whatever you like. And without further ado, I leave the stage to Jan. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what happened, but I needed to restart the system, but I think I'm back now. I'm good to go.
Oh, nice. Okay. So it was another kind of virus, maybe, huh?
Might be the case.
I hope not. Okay. So I will leave the stage to you, and you can start with the presentation.
Okay, cool. Thank you for the invitation, Selim. I'm very happy to be here. As mentioned already, my name is Jan Heinrich Meyer, or aka Ezra in Telegram and everywhere else. I'm the CEO and founder of the Dash Embassy. Dash Embassy is working on the adoption of cryptocurrencies, not Dash only, but mostly in the German-speaking market, but also in other regions. So I'm invited to conferences all around Europe on a regular basis to go there, speak there, and of course, most of the time there are some interesting business development opportunities opening up. And that's basically what we're doing. And today I would like to give you a short overview about Dash and what it is, how it works, and then take a look at our strategy to reach mass adoption, not only, I hope so, in the DACH region. Selim, you're frozen. Can you guys still see and hear me?
Yes, I just stopped the video and
okay.
So completely left the stage to you. That's why.
Okay, I was just a bit surprised. Not that I'm talking to no one or something. Okay.
No, we are here.
Cool.
No, we can see and hear you, Jan. It's fine.
That's good. I felt a bit lonely. Let's jump in and take a look. And let's start with the reasoning behind cryptocurrencies. So why do cryptocurrencies exist? And I always start presentations with this because all the speculation in the space, the trading and the gains in the end are not what cryptocurrencies have been created for. And I like the words of Henry Ford. He once said that if they did, and with he meant the people in general, understand our monetary system, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. And I think this is something that we can see that's happening right now. That centralized institutions are creating money out of thin air, which leads to financial repressions, and by that, a shift of wealth. And this is not the only reasoning for cryptocurrencies or their existence. There's also the threat of abolition of cash, which would lead to a total control of all capital movements, because you can't pay anything without being tracked anymore when cash is gone. And last but not least, more than 50% of all people on Earth have no access to the global financial markets. So this just for the beginning, and it kind of fits to the situation we are in right now with the Corona crisis, because the Federal Reserve just announced that they're pumping fresh money into the system, which might increase the inflation rate. We have seen inflation rates or high inflation rates in Turkey already, and the European Central Bank is doing something similar to what the FED is doing right now, but not at the same extent, I would say. But we will see what the outcome of that will be. So let's do a short dive into Dash. I won't go very deep, just stay at the basic level to give you an idea, and then we will take a closer look at our adoption strategy. So Dash is the short term of digital cash. It's based on the Bitcoin source code. So it's a code fork, not a hard fork or something like that. The code was forked back in 2014. And since then, there have been some innovations on the Dash protocol that differs Dash from Bitcoin. But basically, the code base is the same. Transactions look very similar. Dash invented the masternode, so the second layer technology. It's in general focused on usability and payments. It provides instant confirmations with micro fees, and is following the path of on-chain scalability. It has an advanced on-chain governance model, was established in 2014, as I just explained. And I think that this presentation will be sent to the attendees of this call afterwards. So I included some links so you can take a closer look at the white paper, roadmap, and so on and so forth. So here we see a short comparison of Dash to Bitcoin. As said earlier, we have, offer instant transactions. This is facilitated by the masternode network and a transaction form that's called instant send. So the masternodes are locking in the transactions from the mempool and make them instantly respendable without bringing them or writing them down into the block directly. There's also a read more button for those who would like to take a closer look at that. All this is possible because of long-living masternode forms and chain locks. And chain locks is not really necessary for the instant transaction, but it provides another service or innovation. It is, in the end, it's an innovation in the blockchain space, which is, providing the network protecting the network, sorry for that, against 51% mining attacks. So it makes chain reorgs impossible. Also use the read more button to learn more about that. So the general road to success, as we believe, is that Dash is a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. So we have miners, it's a proof of work coin. The Dash algorithm X11 has the highest hash rate in its category. So there's no other coin coming close to the hash rate in X11. The block time is at 2.5 minutes, a block size of 2 megabyte at the moment, and there's a dark gravity wave responsible for difficulty adjustment. And as said, it's 51% attack resistant due to chain locks. What differs Dash most from other proof of work projects is that the miners don't receive 100% of the block reward, but only 45%, because the next 45%, the next portion of the block reward, goes towards the masternodes. Right now, there are something like 4,700 masternodes providing their service to the network, and yeah, they act as a single point of truth. So you can talk to all these nodes, similar to like to full nodes, but yeah, yep. Right now, due to the long-living masternode cron, you have one single point that you can ask, which represents the other nodes. They are responsible for those instant transactions and provide the fundament from, I don't know if fundament is the right word, for on-chain scalability, because those nodes are incentivized with 45% of the block reward. They are able to invest in hardware which allows to handle bigger block sizes, shorter block times, all that. In the end, on-chain scalability, and they have the right to vote in the governance structure of Dash. So this brings me to the next point, which is the treasury. It's the last portion of the block reward. This 10% gets used for projects all around the globe, for developers, for marketing activities, for business development, translations, whatever you can imagine. And so there are several teams all across the globe. They are called DFOs. It's a Dash funded organization that get paid out of this 10% of the block reward. And there's a big misconception in Dash. There's not one single company that is allocating this block reward. This is happening, yeah, because of the vote from the masternodes. So 4,700 masternodes, and each masternode has one vote. They are voting in the so-called DGBB Dash governance by blockchain, decentralized governance by blockchain. Sorry for that. Okay, you can see the read more button. So if you want to dive deeper, just do it. Go ahead. Let's take a short look at the teams that we have all across the globe right now. So in Venezuela, for example, this bubble is representing several teams. So there are more than just one. Dash Next in Asia, there's another team called Dash Thailand, Dash Nigeria, Dash Brazil, and the Dash Embassy Dach, which I'm the CEO and founder of. Okay, so this just for the beginning and to give you a basic idea about what Dash is. Let's take a look at the price, because this is what's interesting for most of the people. For me, it's not really interesting, not because it's going down, but because transactions are increasing at the same time. So when we talk about Dash as a digital cash, we're talking about a currency that's meant to be used for payments. And one could, of course, ask if this increase in transactions is trading or adoption. And of course, there's a lot of trading in the crypto space, no matter which currency. But with Dash, we had some good success stories in, for example, Venezuela, where hyperinflation kicked in. So there are over 4,000, I think. In the meantime, it's more than 5,000, but I'm not sure about that, merchants accepting Dash. And we have a similar situation in Turkey, where the lira was losing a lot of value from the beginning of 2017 until the end of last year. And I think it's struggling right now, or it's still struggling. And in Turkey, as far as I know, 20% of the population own cryptocurrency. I was very surprised about that high number. I'm not sure which portion of that is in Dash or if it's all Bitcoin, but the 20% in general, I did not expect something that high between Europe and Asia. Okay, but when you take a closer look at Europe, we have 9%, 25% are considering to own cryptocurrencies. In the US, it's a bit less. Australia, it's even lower. And all these numbers, they don't come from my imagination. They are based on a survey made by ING, so a well-trusted institution in the financial sector. But this doesn't really help to understand if all these transactions in Dash come from trading or from actual purchases. So I wanted to show you those two pictures. One is Church Chicken. It's a fast food chain in Venezuela where Dash is accepted as a means of payment. It's just an example. There's a lot more. For example, the farm market where you can buy the medicine that you might need when you're eating only at Church Chicken, for example. Okay, so trading or adoption still, let's take a closer look at the regions. There is a link included in the presentation where you can get access to that survey made by ING. And as said, we can't tell right now what kind of cryptocurrencies is owned in those specific regions. But what we can see here is that there is a potential use of cryptocurrencies for payments because some people already own those cryptocurrencies. So the last part about Dash, and then I'll jump right into the adoption strategy. It's an update for the Dash Investment Foundation. So the Masternode network now owns Dash Investment Foundation, which is meant to invest in companies to support those companies and their growth, and also support Dash in its growth. And the other thing that I can't tell any details about right now because it's still on testnet is Dash platform. So on the second layer of Dash, the Dash platform was created, including a DAPI, or decentralized API, which can be used to talk to the network without spinning up a node or talking to one trusted node if you want to integrate Dash as a means of payment, for example, or if you want to run a dApp or something. But for those who might be interested in that, just reach out to me after this session here, and I can give you some links and information, or maybe I just include that in the presentation that will be shared afterwards. So that might be easier. Okay, because it's already live in testnet, and you can play around with that if you're a developer and understand what the hell is going on there. But oh yeah, I always forget about this slide because it's about investment, and this is it's not my favorite topic. But some people out there are saying that Dash might be a good investment. I think the most famous of them is BlackRock. Okay, so now let's start with the interesting and exciting part. How to reach mass adoption in DACH region. DACH is Germany, Austria, Switzerland, but I think this strategy applies for all European countries and maybe also some other parts in the world. Okay, so when you want to reach mass adoption, what you need to do in the beginning is do some research, because otherwise you don't know where to start and how your market looks like. So we created a letter campaign and sent letters to more than 350 merchants who were already accepting cryptocurrencies as a means of payment in the DACH region, and of course asked them to integrate Dash. But more important was that we started a survey with them to learn in which way they accept cryptocurrencies. And honestly speaking, those people broke my heart, because I thought 350 merchants, they are the true believers, the crypto pioneers. And our survey revealed that 80% of them are doing a convert into fiat. So they accept cryptocurrency, but they don't really get it into their own wallet. They just yeah, use it like a payment scheme, like a MasterCard or Visa or PayPal or whatever it is. And when we ask those merchants why they're accepting cryptocurrencies, then 99% of them said for marketing reasons. This broke my heart again. So when we use this average Joe, the question is, will he say, I accept crypto payments because I understand the concept and I love it? Or will he say, buy my products with whatever kind of PayPal you have there and get the fuck out? And it's like that. It's exactly like that. So the merchants that are accepting cryptocurrencies right now, they aren't the true believers. And this is something that you need to face if you want to move forward and work on the adoption. So after this this heartbreak, you need to go on and take a look what kind of solutions are out there and what can we offer. And in the US, for example, there's a Vega wallet. It's a wallet and a payment solution that allows you as a merchant to accept cryptocurrency payments, but then get US dollar in your bank account. And in Austria, there is Salamantex, and Armenak is with us. He will talk about their solution later on a bit more. And of course, there are some other companies that we are working with at Dash in general. So the next question in this scenario is, will the average Joe say, yes, I'll buy a POS solution that costs me over 300 euro to accept cryptocurrency? Or will he use those 300 euro to do an advertisement on Facebook or something? And when he doesn't really care about crypto, it's very likely that he might use that money for advertisement in general and not for setting up a new payment method that he doesn't really believe in, and that not a lot of people, even though I think that 8% in Germany is quite high, but that not really a lot of people will use for payments in this store. And yeah, sad but true. So when you have that second heartbreak, then you need to identify other opportunities. And so I started to read some surveys, and this one is about cashier systems. It's from the EHI. It's EHI is what's called in English. It's the Retail Institute in Germany, and it states that there are around about 1 million cashier systems in Germany, and those 1 million cashier systems are facilitated by around about 25 companies. The survey also said that 71% of the decision makers in retail plan to buy new hardware during the next years. So when I read that, I was like, cool. So there is a majority of retail decision makers who would like to invest in new hardware. And the survey also, or study also said that the majority of those decision makers from retail industry think that a cashier system with built-in payment terminals would improve the payment process in general. So I was wondering, hey, maybe we can just ask the guys from Salamantex to put a cashier system into their POS solution, and there we go, the mass adoption. It's as easy as that. Then I learned why those 71% of the decision makers wanted to buy new payment hardware. It was because of the Bundesministerium of Finanzen, so the financial authority. I think it's the right name for that. They started a law that force merchants to use a specific type of cashier system, so a registry cashier system. And this law started at the 1st of April in 2014. So when we take a step back and see this study, this was from 2016. So this was the reason why in 2016 the decision makers said, oh yes, we want to buy new hardware, because they were forced to. And then when you read through the EH or Retail Institute study a bit more, you learn that the average lifetime of a cashier system is at round about 7 years. So if 71% of retailers bought a new cashier system with an average lifetime of 7 years in 2017, will they buy additional hardware for crypto in 2019 or 2020? Probably not. So let's ask average Joe again. And he says, I just paid $1,500 for a new cashier system. So no, probably not, as I said before. And this is, it's a pain, because everything could be so easy. Just Dash or Bitcoin or Monero or Litecoin or whatever it is by installing a wallet. So the regular person says, I want to pay with Dash. And the merchant says, oh yeah, cool, here's my wallet, that's it. Cool. But again, 80% of those merchants want to accept crypto, but without touching crypto. And so I went on with thinking and realized that those majority of decision makers from retail industry thought that cashier systems with built-in payment terminals would improve the payment process. And this is why we started a first pilot with a company or with a cashier system company, and started to bring cryptocurrencies in already existing systems. I'll try to start that video now, and maybe we are lucky and this works. So if you can't hear anything, just let me know. I think you can't hear anything, because I can't hear anything. I muted that now,
No,
but I'll explain. So it's a regular cashier system, and we just choose some articles that we want to buy, Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite, whatever it is. We hit the Pay with Dash button, and the system automatically creates a QR code that can then be scanned and used for the purchase. It already contains the amount that we want to pay. I don't know how much it is. I think some cents or something. But as we are in a restaurant environment there, me as a customer, I don't want to walk to the cashier desk to pay. So you can print out that QR code. Oh, you see, it's 10 cents or something. And then get that receipt to your table. You scan it. Now on the phone, I'm setting my PIN. I press send, and then the transaction is done. And it's ready, settlement already included due to Dash Instant Set. Okay, this is nothing really special. At least I think that it's nothing really special. But let's take a look at how this works. So one person says he would like to, or she would like to pay in Dash. So the payment is desired in Dash, then asks the merchant to do that. The merchant selects Dash as a payment method in the cashier system. The cashier system talks to a crypto payment service provider and asks via exchange for the price. The PSP provides the QR code into the cashier system. The output receive data is created, the QR code. The customer scans the QR code, sends the Dash to the crypto payment service provider. This one uses an exchange to get the euro that can then be sent to the merchant directly. And you see there are some fees charged, and maybe even a commission goes to the provider of the cashier system. So if you compare that with this, it's a lot more complicated, but it looks like the merchants want exactly this. So the integration in those existing systems is comparable, easy to do, because you just need to bring this software piece into the existing systems. You don't need any kind of chip or whatever to read. You just need a display that can show the QR code. And for the cashier system provider, it's kind of interesting because it sets them apart from their competitors, of course, and they have a new model of monetarization, because cashier systems in general, they don't really benefit from payments, because they don't read the credit cards or something like that. They are not the payment terminal. It's only the cashier system. So this might be the scenario that we will get by following this strategy. The average Joe might say, I accept crypto payments because it's easy and has advantages compared to credit cards. Because even then, when you have all this crypto PSPs, exchanges, and so on, the fees are slightly lower than for credit cards. And maybe he once will say that he might want to take a closer look at the whole idea of cryptocurrency in future. And I think we are in a good situation right now, because of the crisis are kind of kicking in, and I'm not sure if we will see a very high inflation rate in Europe or in the Eurozone, but I think from a mathematical point of view, it would just happen. There's no way around that. So let's take a short look at what's happening outside of the Dash universe and at our partners. I don't know if you folks know Bitcoin Swiss. I guess most will do. So Bitcoin Swiss is a Swiss brokerage service. So they also offer custody, Dash staking. Some other coins can be staked there. And during the last year, they announced in a press release that they will cooperate with Worldline. And for those who don't know Worldline, Worldline is the leading payment company in Europe. They recently bought Ingenico, which is world's leading company in payment or credit card terminals. So this looks like a very promising partnership for the adoption of cryptocurrencies. And again, they are using already existing hardware to integrate crypto payments into those systems. The rollout in summer of this year in Switzerland as a pilot. So one of the biggest payment companies in the world is starting crypto acceptance in the center of Europe in this year. I think that's fucking awesome. So what's happening in Slovenia with Go Crypto, another crypto payment service provider? They recently onboarded Burger King in Slovenia, and this is also kind of the center of Europe. It's not really south because of the sea in the middle. So I would say it's Central Europe, and Burger King in Central Europe is accepting cryptocurrencies right now. If you ate a lot of burgers and you have the feeling that you need to do some sports, or at least are interested in sports, then you can right now through Utrust buy tickets for Champions League. So I'm not really interested in football. I'm a more travel guy. So I would rather jump on a plane than sitting on the couch and watching a football game. And you can use booking.com for your flights, your vacation, and pay with crypto there. In Germany, we have, that's on the right side, Shop in Bit. It's, I think, the biggest crypto-only online merchant where you can buy almost everything. So you can get almost everything there that you could get on Amazon, but you can pay directly with crypto. And they are accepting crypto without a crypto payment service provider. So Shop in Bit, Lawrence, he's really a true believer. But also at Galaxos, which is the Amazon of Switzerland, you can pay with cryptocurrencies. So right now there's, I think, a lot going on. And one other very interesting and promising development in the world of payments, and especially in crypto payments, is the partnership between Salamantex and Ingenico. I already mentioned Ingenico. It's the world leading company for payment devices at the point of sale. And but not only Ingenico and Salamantex, but also A1 Payments. And A1 Payments, I think, is one of the leading payment companies in Austria. But yeah, at this point, I think I would like to hand over to Armenak from Salamantex, because he can tell you a lot more about Salamantex and Ingenico and the partnership and how their product works. So if you want to reach out to me, as said earlier, my name is Heinrich Meyer. Dash-embassy.org is the website. And if you like to try Dash, then you can install a wallet right now. Just set it up. And I don't know if this will work and if you people at home have the camera switched on, but then you can show the QR code into the camera, and I'll you, let's say, 50 cent in Dash or something. And what we could also do is to take a look at my Dash wallet bot that can be used to send Dash inside of Telegram. So if you're in a Telegram group, we can send you some Dash by using Telegram. But enough from my side, enough from now. And Armenak, I think it's your turn.
Yeah. Thank you, Jan.
So, hello everyone from my side. Unfortunately, the camera doesn't really work, so I have to switch it off again to not irritate you. Jan is so kind, and he will guide through the presentation. Can you project it on again, please?
It should be there, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, as said, hello everyone. First of all, thank you to all guests for joining this online meetup. Thanks to Gökçen, Selim, and Jan for inviting me to this meetup and giving me this opportunity to introduce our company Salamantex. I'm Armenak Tüysüz, and I'm a co-founder and key account manager of Salamantex. Currently, I live in Malta on this beautiful island and lead the operations here for Salamantex. So what is Salamantex? Jan already made a good introduction at some points today, and thank you, Jan, again for that. And I want to go really quick into some details, how this journey started, and especially why. In the end of 2016, we had this idea of bringing crypto payments into the stores with a POS device. Back then, it was a crazy idea, but somebody had to do it, and we had this vision, so we did it. In November 2017, Salamantex was founded, and 1 year later, after all this work, in December 2018, we launched our software and hardware. Since then, we have about 100 customers in Austria, Croatia, and Malta combined. But of course, before we started, we did a research with the merchants, as well as Jan said before, with his research. So, and we asked them what would be necessary for you to accept cryptocurrencies or digital assets as payments, or what are your concerns about it? And the challenges and the pain points in the end were clear. We took the most common pain points and eliminated them with our payment service software. So you see them all here, and I want to go really quick into some details. So first, there is the exchange. It is complicated and time-consuming for the merchants to exchange cryptocurrencies into fiat money when they don't know anything about cryptocurrencies and digital assets. So the question of the merchants was always, how can I get my euros on my bank account? And believe me, that's the only thing they want to know for now. Jan mentioned that also before. So that's the only thing that they want. Volatility risk. Imagine a merchant would sell a product for 1,000 euros, and 1 day later, this cryptocurrency drops about, let's say, 10 to 15%. The merchant would lose 100 to 150 euros, and that's a risk which basically he can't take, because he still needs to pay his bills in euros. The next point is missing know-how. most of the merchants said it's too complicated. I don't have the time to educate myself about that, or I don't want to educate myself, or am I even allowed to do that? And this brings me also to the next point, accounting. One of the common questions was, how can I integrate this into my bookkeeping? And the next thing was also integration into cash register systems. So how can I integrate it into my existing cash register system? Because in Austria, as we heard before, it is a must to have a cash register system if you deal with cash. And the next advantage is it also combines different payment methods in one device. So these are the 5 points, the most common pain points, and we eliminated basically all of them.
To interrupt you, but I think nobody can see the presentation because when you are talking, then it's automatically changing to you, and you don't have anything enabled.
But Selim, you could change that when you pin him in Zoom. I think
I pinned the presentation, but okay. Now the people can see it, I think. Okay.
Okay, does it work? Because I see your screen now, Selim.
Okay.
Okay, who's a Zoom pro? Who can tell us from the chat where we can pin that thing? So, I don't have a clue how this works because I'm not using this a lot.
Maybe
does it work now?
Right, Armenak.
So I think now it works. Does it work now? I think now it's pinned.
Yeah, it was pinned, but yeah, okay, yes.
Okay, but now I see you again, or me.
Okay, you see who the one that it's talking, I think.
Still. Jan, is there a possibility that I can share this presentation?
Absolutely. I can send you the link.
So that would be easier then.
Wait, how the hell did I get? Okay, cool. I'm out of that. Sorry. Well, I send it to you on Telegram, okay?
Okay, perfect.
There you go.
Okay, guys, just a second. Perfect. So let's share the screen.
Yeah, something is happening.
Just a second.
Okay, now we are seeing.
Okay.
Presentation.
Jan, is that the presentation mode? No.
No. On the top of the no, right and top right. There's presentation.
Yeah. Presentation. Okay. Let's check if it works. I think now it should work, right?
Yes.
Do you see my screen with the presentation now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we were still, I just wanted to go a bit in detail with these 5 points, and then we'll go to the next slide. So all these 5 points were the most common pain points, and we eliminated all of them. This means the exchange will be done immediately. There is no volatility risk for the merchant, which you will see later in the payment process. And you will also see that there is no need for know-how during the payment process, because it's really easy to use our payment software. Let's put this aside. The integration into cash register system works. And we have, for the accounting, we have a detailed transaction list for bookkeeping. So let's change to, okay, now. So how does our solution look like? We can process all kinds of digital payments easily, quickly, and risk-free. First of all, our payment service software can be used as Android-based application on numerous common hardware terminals, or as a web application on any device like smartphone, tablet, PC, laptop, or whatever device you have, and can be integrated into e-commerce through API and plugins. This means the merchants can choose between the options which fits them best. So we are really flexible on this, and that's really a big advantage for the merchant. Cash register integration, as we mentioned before, it can be integrated, and in general, integrations are very important, and Jan had this slide about this as well before, and I want to say something about this. Cash register system integrations into existing infrastructures in general of the merchants is the key to success in this field when it's about mass adoption. And we are doing exactly these things at Salamantex. So our first partnership with some cash register systems, or also with A1 Telekom Austria and Ingenico, is a huge milestone for us. And we are really proud to work closely together with them. And these kind of integrations from our side will be more and more in future, but I don't want to tell you too much in details about that. So stay tuned on our social media channels, and in the next few months, you will see plenty of news when it comes to these integrations. Security. Do you see this Zoom as well as I do? Or you see just the presentation?
We only see the presentation now.
Okay, perfect. Security. To secure our payments, we have different partners in the background. Just to mention one of these partnerships, which we are also very proud to have, is 1031 Bank, which is our settlement bank to settle all of our merchants and other recipients in their local currency. Next point, accounting. As mentioned before, our merchants receive every month a detailed overview of all transactions. This means, as a merchant, you can see which date and time, which cryptocurrency, which amount, and all this data, which is important for an accountant to have. As in general, as a company, we have a strong focus on regulations and compliance. KYC, AML is just one part of it. And in the end, this is exactly the reason why we have these amazing partnerships with A1 Telekom Austria, Ingenico, Concardis, and all these big players, because they really appreciate how serious we handle all these topics. So as you see, these are some facts about us, and this is how we work. But to make it short, I will switch to the next slide, which is our payment process. Here. So let's jump directly into it. Just to make it clear up front, this is the view of a merchant. So the first step is the merchant enters the amount in euros. For now, we just have euros, but in a later stage, we will add other fiat currencies, of course. The second step is the merchant has to choose the cryptocurrency the customer wants to pay with. For now, we have integrated 6 kinds of cryptocurrencies, which is Bitcoin, Dash, Litecoin, Ripple, Stellar, and Ethereum. The third step is confirm the exchange rate. This means during the payment process, there is a time frame of 35 seconds where the merchant can log and confirm the exchange rate. Every 35 seconds, this exchange rate will be updated because we have we have our exchange partner in the background, which is connected. So as you see, we have the real-time exchange in the payment process, and that's how we eliminate the volatility risk. The fourth step is our payment software generates the QR code, including all required data. And the customer just has to scan this QR code with his existing crypto wallet and to confirm the payment on his mobile phone or whatever device he has. The fifth step is the step where our security comes in. Our software checks the payment, and if everything is fine at the transaction will be confirmed, the payment will be completed, and an invoice can be issued immediately. And as you see here again, it's very easy, user-friendly for both sides, which is very important for the mass adoption. And our goal is to push the mass adoption, and we are really on a good way to make this real in the next few months. So the next slide. Yeah, So that's it basically from my side. If you have any question or want to have more details about Salamantex and our payment service software, you can contact our team or directly me through the email address which is shown on the screen. Or I'm also in the Telegram group as well, so you can send me a direct message. You can also follow our social media channels. Just type in Salamantex or Salamantex on different platforms and you will find our channels. Or you can also visit our website, salamantex.com. So I will be also available for a Q&A session with Jan together. If there are any questions from your side, just let us know. And I want to thank you all for the time, and thanks again to Gökçen, Jan, and Selim for the invite, and take care of yourself. And of course, at this time, stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Armenak, and thank you very much, Jan, for the great presentations. I think we learned a lot today about how the Dash ecosystem works and how these cryptocurrencies can be integrated to our day-to-day life. If our participants want to ask questions, then please type them into the chat or the Telegram groups. And I have a few questions. What's most interesting for me is the DAO of Dash, so the decentralized organization of Dash. Can you make a quick introduction or a quick summary of that, Jan?
Yeah, what is it that you're particularly interested in?
Yeah, I know it's a very big topic, and I'm particularly interested how this decentralized organization is working, how you become a member of this organization, and how are the important decisions are made in the Dash ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. So in general, everyone can join the Dash DAO. It's open for everyone. So if you want to submit a proposal, for example, because you have a project or whatever it is, then you can just submit this kind of budget proposal. On dashcentral.org, for example, there are most of the proposals listed. And then the next step is that the masternodes vote on those budget proposals and decide if they see value in the project or not. And this is how those DFOs come to existence. So let's say you have a great idea for, I don't know, some kind of wallet or payment solution or whatever it is, then you can submit that as a proposal, outline the budget you will need for that, and set your goals and all that, like you would do in regular business life, and then the masternode owners are allowed to vote. And maybe what's important to know is that if you want to run a masternode, you need a collateral of 1,000 Dash. So if you want to become a masternode owner, you need to have a stake in the end in the Dash ecosystem. It's similar to what's happening at GmbH or AG or whatever whatever other kind of company. Yeah, everyone is allowed to run a masternode. But of course, 1,000 Dash is not for free.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and thank you for bringing up for the masternode system. I was also very interested in masternode coins, and in particular Dash, because I think it's one of the first, or it was the first coin that was working on masternode. And there were, in the beginning of the Dash ecosystem, or before 4 years, and so there were discussions about the decentralization of the whole masternode system, because there was the token holders were not much distributed, I think, or the masternodes were not distributed. Did it change over how did it change over the years? do you have some experience?
Well, I can't really tell how many people are owning all the masternodes, but it's definitely it's definitely in the hundreds, so more in the thousands, I would think.
Yeah.
And there's when you go to BitInfo charts, for example, there's a rich list where you can see the distribution of the coin in general. But of course, out of that, you can't tell how many individuals really own masternodes. But when you follow the voting activity of masternodes in the blockchain, then I think the biggest or it's a whale, right? The biggest whale I ever saw has 110 masternodes, something like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And yeah, one other very interesting aspect of Dash is privacy. I think it was also one of the things that Dash separated from Bitcoin. It's still separating it.
But I need to say that in the end, you can reach the same privacy level with Bitcoin that you can have with Dash. The only difference is that so the process for protecting your private data is a coin join or coin mixing, but at Dash it's facilitated by the masternode network and those quorums that I have been speaking about before, and this allows you to mix your coins without trusting one entity to you. So you don't need to use one tumbler that's run by one person or company or whatever. You can rely on the masternode network and the quorums, and the quorums are changing. So let's say you have a quorum for private send or for one mixing procedure, one mixing round, then you have one quorum for that. And if you want to do another mixing round, then you have a new quorum and so on and so far. And so you can have several mixing rounds, several quorums, and after that, it's kind of impossible to follow the way of one single coin. But this is something that you can basically also do with Bitcoin, but not in a decentralized way, as far as I know.
Okay. Yeah. Others, are you aware also of other implementations, or are there future projects like there's a big topic, for example, in Bitcoin to implement this Zcash technology, the Zk snarks, zero knowledge snarks. Are there some implementations in Dash for that? Or okay.
No, right now not. So the developers are focused on Dash platform at the moment, which will enable for Dash usernames, so that you don't need to copy an address or a QR code to send your Dash. You can just say @Selim, for example, and then send some Dash to that person. This is something that's in progress for a big amount of time right now, and right now the plan is that the deployment from testnet to live stage will happen during this year. So all the stuff is on testnet since the beginning of this year. 31st of December in 2019 was the launch in testnet. And now, they are testing, right, and then getting that to the live stage.
Yeah, I was also fascinated about the bot technology that you can just send in Telegram group the Dash coin to whomever you want, and just in an instant, it was like, I mean, normally if you are using a ledger, for example, a hardware wallet or another kind of wallet, it takes time, and it needs passwords and so on and so forth. So it was really an eye opener for me to see.
Well, I can show you that. So I just shared my screen again, and I hope that you're able to see the Telegram. It's the Telegram group of Dash Embassy. with that crypto versus fiat YouTube video I created today.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in crypto and fiat and the Power Rangers, take a look at that. And wait, I will do a rain. So let's say rain 10, it's millidash to, let's say, 20 people. And it should start the rain now when I have enough funds on my wallet. And this is the case. So I just distributed 62 cents to, what does it say? 20 people or 20 active users like that. Selim, are you in that group?
I don't know. I received some. But I think I am in that group.
I can't. Oh no. What's your username there?
My forename and last name, the capital, the first letters, SE underscore Novem.
No, you're not in that group. That's sad. So then I need to.
Okay, but you just demonstrated in another group, I think, because I received some. I saw that.
Oh, that might be the case, yes. But
you can show it with me. I'm in this group.
yeah. You want that money so bad. Huh?
I can send it back.
No, but I just tipped your colleague Felix, also from Salamantex. So it's in the company. So
yeah,
I just tipped 5 millidash to Salem. But of course, yeah, it would be cool to send it to you, and then you send it back to me directly. Wait, I need to write your name right, and then I might find you, right?
Armenak 17, yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah,
come on.
Group. Yeah, now I see in the Turkey group you have. This
in the Turkish group, yeah, sure. Here, I tip you 5 to Armenak.
Okay, so I have to do the same. Wait, tip, and then tip at
Ezra.
Okay, essra, and then I have to put 5 again.
Yeah, put 5 or 4 or 3, whatever. Oh, Sabina's joining the party.
Done.
Yeah. So, and I just received some Dash, and then I have this chat with my Dash wallet bot, and it tells me that I received some money, or that I sent some money. I can check my balance here, and in the end, the bot is creating a wallet for me using Telegram. And if I want to withdraw or deposit, I can do it all in here. And all the commands are written down when you ask for help/help, and then the bot explains almost everything. The bot is integrated in several groups. Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah,
awesome feature.
Yeah, thank you very much for answering the questions. Armenak, I have also a question for you about merchant adoption. And I mean, if you go to the merchants, or if they are interested in paying with crypto, are the arguments like the percentage that they are paying to Visa, MasterCard, or the banks? Are these arguments not enough that they are changing perhaps to crypto? That the transaction fees are very low? Is the hassle that big that they are maybe little or more afraid of the technology, or are there other?
Well, when you take a look at e-commerce payments, for example, then right now PayPal is facilitating, I think, something like 20% of all payments in e-commerce in Germany, and PayPal is by far the most expensive solution for the merchant. So in the end, the merchant, it doesn't really matter for them, because if the user wants to use PayPal, they accept PayPal, whatever it costs, because if they don't do that, they will lose that customer. Yeah. So the fee argument is not enough, definitely not.
Yeah, it's more a matter of, let's say, integrations, as we said before, because the merchant, they don't want to have 3 or 4 devices, especially in Austria. I know in Turkey, for example, or in China, it's different. You know, they have 2, 3, 4 POS devices, but in let's say in Middle Europe, it's not like this, and they want these kind of integrations, and that's why we are really proud of our partnership with Ingenico, that we integrate our payment service into the Ingenico devices. So yeah, that this will be a game changer, and this is how we will approach thousands of merchants. Yeah,
for sure.
About the fee, it's not really about the fee, because our business model is it's almost the same like the credit card fees, so that's not an issue. It's more about educating the people, and it's always a mindset thing with the merchants. So if the owner has an open mindset, they will understand that this, first of all, is more a new way of marketing for them, and that they can approach new customer through this payment service. It's the same like, let's say, Alipay and WeChat Pay. You know, people from China come here, and if the merchants are open to offer them Alipay, WeChat Pay, of course the Chinese people will spend more. And it's the same with the crypto community. So if you as a merchant are open to let them pay with their currency, you will attract a new customer, more customer. Of course, it's not from today until tomorrow, but it's a matter of time. And we are one of the first movers, and we enable merchants to do this. And all of our customers are really happy. So some of them have big results. Yeah, some of them it still takes some time, but that's how it works. So, but let's go 15 years back. Yeah, if you would say to a merchant, hey, everybody will pay with cards, he would probably laugh at you, and they will say, yeah, I have cash. And still today, some people say, yeah, I have cash. But in the end, we see where the trends right now goes, especially right now with the virus. You know, big food stores or whatever kind of store chains, they already suggest all the people to pay cashless. And that's the trend where we are going to. And we are actually one of the first movers for digital payments. And that's what we enable the merchants, that they can accept not just cryptocurrencies, in general, digital assets. So that's the way how it works. But of course, it takes time. So it's not like every merchant welcomes us with really open hands. But when we talk with big chains, they see the trend, and they are more open as, let's say, as a small merchant, which is maybe in his own town and is not that big. But the big chains, they are really open, and we have many talks with them. And yeah, as said before, just stay tuned on our social media channels. Many news will follow during this year and also next year. So mass adoption is coming, guys.
Yeah.
I already followed.
Very good.
Okay, thank you very much, Armenak and Jan, for the great presentation and for answering our questions. Do you have a question?
When we talk about the trends, every year the halving events are usually carried out with some kind of hype in the ecosystem. And I think in April, 10th of April, we expect the emission rate decrease in Dash. So do you expect any positive effects of the halving of Dash in April?
At Dash, we don't really have a halving. It goes down 7%, the emission rate, and it doesn't really affect the price in any way, because it's the portion is so small. And I also think that the Bitcoin halving, which will take place this year, will not have a very big impact. But I don't have a clue, to be honest, right? Because I'm not a trader or in any price specific topics. But when you take a look at the current block reward and divide that by 2, then the decrease is not as big as it has been at the last time. So yes, the percentage is still the same, but the impact might be smaller. But I did an interview with Stefan Schindler, who's the former CTO of Genesis Mining, on my YouTube channel, and we were talking a bit about Bitcoin halving, and maybe this video could be interesting. But I can't really answer that question. I don't know, Armenak, what do you think about halving?
I mean, you are the specialist for Dash here. So halving, technically, nothing changes. Yeah, the rewards will get smaller, but it's more like a hype thing, I think. But technically, it's just a reducing of the reward.
Interesting from an economic point of view, but I said the portion is a lot smaller than before. So
yeah, definitely. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.